Hey y'all, and happy Saturday, and we're back for week 34 in our 52-week journal challenge and 365 days in the life of a journal. Just love this little book. It just gets yummier and yummier with every week. So this week, our prompt is Journey into Our Past. So I always like to kind of like think back and forward when I'm working in my prompts and how I'm thinking about things. And I think it's a natural progression. So, of course, last week we were dealing with remembering the future. And I'm glad to see that so many of you had a lot of fun with that challenge. And so the next one was Journey into Our Past. I think that what happens is it's like creates a circle. When we start remembering our past or thinking about our future or things, it's like this circle is created. So it's kind of like this back and forth between the past and the future and the present, and you know, like the way we develop our plans, the way we think about what we're going to do. A lot of times when we're planning a future vacation, we kind of think about the one from the past, don't we? We think about maybe the places we stay. We might want to go back there. We might want to go to this part, you know, this part of the country, but then try this other part. You know, you kind of mix things. So it's kind of natural to think that way. So let's find some old pictures or ephemera, stamps, letters, or maps, and work with them into our art in a fresh new way. Let's explore the past through the present moments and available materials. So it's like, okay, we spent time thinking about the future. A lot was coming up, you know. And so it's kind of nice to also kind of, at the same time, let's just like think about the fun things or, you know, memorable times, or, you know, by going back into our ephemera, into old, you know, letters, maps, anything that you would pull up to begin to tell a story. Allow the bits of the past to tell their stories and respond to them by creating. You can also pull from magazines, old books, to create these sort of bits of nostalgia, even if you don't like have a lot of photos that you want to use, or you know, things like that. Sometimes just going into some magazines, go to the library and grab a couple like National Geographics. I could see the magazine and then I kind of like froze and thought, okay, what's it called again? National Geographics. Yeah, you can always get those at the library if you don't already have some. Those are great for finding all kind of good stuff in there to create from. And we'll just have fun pulling up and remembering from the past. So it's a really straightforward prompt, and it sort of dovetails on the prompt from last week. And I thought what would be cool is, because I've been thinking about, well, I've said that I was going to do this at some point, you know, like make more stamps. My little stamp box is empty. And we've done them a long time ago when we were working in our altered book. And so a lot of the stamps that are in this book were ones that I had made, you know, and some of them are, you know, real stamps, and some of them are ones that I made in my little, the way I like to make stamps. So I thought it would be fun, like these are made, because I like to collage and sort of make these little bundles of stamps. So let's have some fun. This is one that I made. So I thought we could have some fun doing that while we sort of think nostalgically about the past, and maybe using these stamps in artwork to do some other things. And so that was, for those of you who remember, this was the book we worked on last year, the altered book. And then this is the one that is at the printers. I know a couple people reached out and, you know, wondered. It's being printed because once the orders were done on the 30th of August, I knew it was going to take, you know, 3 to 4 weeks for them to come back from the printer. So they should be back soon. The project is on order, I've been told. So, I mean, it's on, it's been ordered, but it's on, it's, you know, on pace. I can't think of the word. It's on track, you know. So we should be by the middle of September for sure. The book should be on their way to you. So just to give you guys an update. But they're at the press. So let's make some stamps with mail art in mind. But I thought I'd also do the flip through the book. This is a page that I did for a video that I created for Messy Art out journaling. I'll be a guest teacher on there. So this was a technique I showed, and that space was available, so I put it in my journal. So I'll do a flip through. So these were some of the ones that I did during the week over on Patreon, and I really liked them. I had a lot of fun just flushing these out. So this one, these, I really like the direction that these went in. I had a lot of fun with them. I want to definitely do some more. Yeah. So those are the journal pages for the week. And let's come down to the table. Okay, so here we are. This is one of my fun projects to do. I really like making these stamps. They're, here again, they're the kind of thing that you can do just kind of when you want to be in your studio, not sure exactly what you want to work on, but you want to do something that's significant so that it will add into when you actually do a collage or work in a book or a journal. You'll have some materials. It's like mask making, right? So I always have, you know, my box full of all kind of scraps. So, you know, keep all these pieces because they definitely come in handy. And then I have some stamps. A lot of this group that I use right here, I got on that AliExpress. I don't know if I can find this link again. The stuff changes so much over there. But there are a few on YouTube. I mean, on my words are escaping me today. Oh my goodness. On Amazon that I've gotten. Like I've gotten these off of Amazon. So some of these. So I'll try to leave some links so you guys can, if you don't have any. But so I like to use these. So we will use some stamps, but I'll put those to the side. The other day I was working on a project with my patrons and I stamped up some old ledger sheets. So I thought I would play with these. And I just took the Tim Holtz and I just used the whole thing. I didn't take any of them out because they're all small ones. I figured, you know what, it's just easy for me to ink the whole thing up and then just stamp it. So I did some different ink colors in there. So I'm sure I'll use some bits and pieces of this. So you can kind of pre-stamp them like that. And let's see. Of course, we need our glue sticks. Let me grab the Giotto and the Uhu. And I'm telling you, where I start with this is I like to just go ahead and begin working with the scraps. So I'm going to first start by, let me just tear a few of these off just so they're available for me to use. And I want to, you know, keep some of the ledger paper as a background. Put that right there. And so I'll just kind of do these square right now. And we'll just use them as, you know, bits that we'll work with. So how have you guys been for the past week? Hope all's going well. I've been moving a little slow because I was on a camping trip this past weekend. On my foraging. I think many of you know that I like to, I'm doing an herbal course. It's an apprenticeship style course, and a lot of times I put like a lot of my extras that I know that I want to use in my stamps. I throw them over here in my little DIY stamp box. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some of them out so I have some. Okay. And yeah. And slid down an embankment a bit. Kind of sprained my knee. Thank God it was just a sprain. So this week has been going a little slow for me. But thank goodness it is getting better. Little by little. So what I like to do is I'm just grabbing things out of like all these little strips and bits and pieces that we hold on to. Just go and grab them out. All these nice tea stain type of papers, coffee stain papers, anything that you have. that's where all these bits come in into really great use. Okay. So let me just I kind of pull everything out on my table so I can see it. And then I'll move some of these pieces out the way. And then just kind of work on a few of them at the same time. Okay. So what I like to do is I start off by just kind of getting the shape. So some of them, you know, I kind of do stamp size. Some of them I'll do a little bigger. But just taking a strip. These are probably about 1 inch wide. The way I'm tearing them. Okay, so I start off by getting those. So this is like copier paper that's been stained. So just so you know the weight, it's about a 28 pound. Or maybe a 24 pound paper. So I kind of like to get them all laid out. And then I'll start grabbing other bits. Like this is just some paper that's been, just has some mark making on it. So generally what I'll do is just kind of begin to paste pieces or just kind of lay pieces out. And these pieces, I'll let kind of hang off the edge. These pieces that we've torn there are just really for the kind of the background. Kind of creates a foundation. Make sure, okay, I want to make sure I'm right in the middle of the camera there for you all. So this is some Asian, I have really deep shadows today. Sorry about that. Let me see if I just turn the overhead on. On the days when it's, let me see, that's better. When it's overcast out here, the way my window here in the studio gets the morning sun, so it gets some from the east, but around noon, which is where we are right now, it's kind of right above, so I don't get the light coming right in to offset the shadow. So we have some shadows here. Even though these lights are right here, I'm still getting that shadow. So hopefully it's not too annoying. Okay, so I'm just taking bits of this and kind of putting it down. And literally and it's nice when you go to stamp it to have little pieces sticking off the side and everything. That'll work. And also, I know I was going to say, like, try to find pieces that are, that have different textures. You know, you can use different opacities of paper. And try to shift it up, that you're just putting all different kinds down on the surface. So we can even take a strip, put it down. This is actually the piece of that, the note. I think this will do good as a back because it's already kind of strong, so no need to try to. So I'll put that there. Oh, I like that there like that. So here's some nice little stained pieces. Put that there. They're like, these things are like making like super mini collages or something. But then I turn them into stamps. So Okay, so that's a nice little bit right now. So I'll go ahead and glue these down, and you know, I use napkins. We'll use some of this in the next group. Okay, let's go ahead and glue these. So I'm gonna use a Giotto. Yep, these are so much fun to make. And it's the best use of your scraps, that's for sure. Especially the teeny tiny pieces, which is why I keep everything. Let me see. I think I want this to go underneath. Yeah, that's good. Get these down. And I'm just, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about which ink pads I want to pull out. Gotta put another piece here, but let's just get this one down. Also thinking that what I might try to do is try to work several of them at a time so that when I go to stamp them, I'm stamping a group of them at the same time. And I still like them to have like a little bit of moisture in them because it helps them to kind of like even sort of like emboss in a way. You'll see. So that's kind of why I do a few at a time and then I stop and stamp them. Okay. Well, see here again. I hate to cover up any of the text, so let's pull this back because this texture will come through. Yeah, that looks better. You know, no need to lose any of our little bits of information there. Okay. I feel like I'm not doing a lot of talking. I apologize. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, you just get in here and start working on. And you can see what I'm using, so if you stop the camera and grab your bits, you can kind of work along with me. And even if you don't have the stamps, you know, you can start making the small collages and then order some if you want. Or you don't have to exactly use it. Or you can, you know what, you can, if you have rubber stamps of other things, you can just stamp them with whatever images you already have, you know. If you don't have exactly stamp images and you don't want to, you know, get anything. Or you can just work with stamped images and then what you already have, and then when you do get some, you can do some more with the rubber stamps on them. You know, it's a lot of ways of connecting with this process. It's nice because what it does is it just, because I like doing a lot of mail art, it's just a neat way to kind of create your own stamps, but also these little small collages are great when you're just doing other things like in your journals. You know, you want bits and bobs to put on your pages. They actually can be used as tabs on pages when you're working. It's a lot of, these little things can be used in a lot of different ways. So, you know, as creative as you want to be with them. Okay, so fingers are getting a little sticky here. You know what? I know I'm being picky, but I think I put this on the wrong way. I meant to put it this way because I'm covering up the good part of the the staining. Okay, that's better. Alrighty, so now you get a nice group of them done, and then they still have a little bit of moisture in them. Let me get some rubber stamps out. I love working with pumice. It's one of my favorites. I'll get a black. There's nothing wrong with that. And I love forest moss, and there's a lot of them I love. But let's see, we'll do forest moss, pumice, and I want frayed burlap to gather twigs as well. So I love working with the Tim Holtz distressed, but if you don't, you know, have them, whatever, you know, ones you have is good. So then what I like to do is I take one of the blocks. This one's kind of big, and I put one of the stamps on it. Let me see. Where aren't all my stamps here? Thought I had them at the start of this. Some have to use a... Hold up. Sorry about this. I honestly don't know where some of my faves are. Oh, here they are. I have a little dish with them. Okay, there we are. I created these to go with a certain size, and now I need the exact, that one. Okay, here we are. This one will go good, and this one does. Okay, so put that down. And then let me take and do on these, put something else on that one. We can do different colors. Let's start off with the frayed burlap. It's a nice brown. So we can take the stamp, and it still has some moisture in it. What I like to do is I like to just put it down on it so I can really press on it, and because the paper still has moisture in it from the glue and we have a good stable surface, so I'm able to push the paper around it, it kind of will make it look like it's embossed, so it just kind of digs into the paper a little better than if it were just, if you try stamping it flat. Oh yes, see how this lovely little, oh, come on, let's see if we can get it to focus. Come on, little camera. Sometimes you get closer and you kind of pull it back. How come it's not focusing? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you see? So you get that little stamped thing, but then you see all of what's behind it. And then what I'll do is I'll take, well, we'll let them dry. So let's do another one of those with frayed burlap. So like I said, any rubber stamp that you already have, you can, you know, do that too. Because, you know, you might have birds, you might have butterfly, I mean, yeah, butterflies, or, you know, different animals that can go well as sort of a stamp concept. So have at what you have in your collection. You know, I'm all about using what we already have. This one is forest moss. Oh, I love this color. There we are. So these are a lot of fun to make, and you can get a lot of them made. Just down in an hour, you can really knock these things out. Yeah, here we are. Such a good color. See if I can get this thing. My camera is acting up, like it doesn't want to focus easily. Yeah, there we are. You see? So they really do look like postage stamps, but they don't, but they look different too. You know, they're kind of more collagey, and they look like they can be old. Okay, this is going to be for pumice. Let's take this one here and do it. I can do this one. I'll make that one a black. Main thing is just to really just press down so that it really kind of picks up the grooves. Love it. Okay, so now let's do pumice. No, we're going to do the black. I can see this one being good for the black. You can use napkins. Just about anything you can think of. Okay, there we are. And I just want to kind of clean this stamp off, so I just want to find something to stamp it on, because I'm going from black to this pumice, which is a lighter gray. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. Okay. So yeah, rubber stamps. Postage stamps. They're fun. And generally I'll just make tons of them, and I'll put them in my little box. See how subtle that is? But you can really, like, I like this pumice, and when it dries, it even is more, it'll get darker, but you see it, but then you still see like the stamping of the Asian text underneath. It's a little hard to see with that camera not focusing, but I like this pumice because it gives a nice light. And so a lot of times when I'm collaging, and even when I'm working on my mail art, and you know, you might want to add a DIY stamp in with some of your real stamps, you know, from your collections and stuff like that. I like this lighter color too, because it doesn't become too overwhelming, but it still reads stamp in your collages, so it's nice. Yep, that's nice on this paper. Okay, so let's do some more, and then there's stuff that we do to these stamps as well. Sometimes I also will just take, while we're stamping, where's that black? And I just have those little stamps that you get from Michael's. You actually get them for $1. All the letters for like $1. I just take tape and tape them together. So this one says post. So we can put this sort of right at the bottom. So you can put, you know, your different words on there, whatever you want to use. So here's a piece of Let me get my ooh-hoo. This is a piece of napkin. This will be good. Put that little bit down. So any napkins you already have, they're great for this process. And there's so many nice patterns on napkins that you can just get a lot of imagery pretty easily. So I already had that piece of paper down. So kind of put that on there. I'm just feeling like my camera isn't adjusting properly. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why. Okay, so there was another direction I was going to go in. Had that. Oh, also, like, even like bits of pieces like from your the printables and different things that you may have used in Xerox and stuff. I cut these up too, because they make great backgrounds. And then putting something translucent on them. Okay, so let's work with these pieces. So once again, I like using things that are translucent, which is why I love the onion skin, or even let's put this here, tracing paper, anything like that, because it's going to actually give. This is a little bit of this paper. This is nice. This is it. So this can go on here. So it's sort of like just making these little collages that read stamp-like. Here recently, I've just been doing a lot of mask making because, boy, do I need things. And I'm working on my, I'm working on fleshing a lot of my books out. And, you know, you need things for your pages, your collage elements. So it's kind of good to get these things knocked out. Now I'm going to show you another stamp that I like to use. You kind of get them, just kind of put these things down. Oh, and also fabrics, like thin fabrics. Like a lot of times I'll put little silk pieces on them. And if I had, I don't think I have any at hand, but sometimes I'll actually take and if I can put my hands on it without spending too much time to dig. I have some kind of like sheer silk, and I'll lay that down and then stamp over it. It's really nice. So you can do as much to these as you want. Oh, here's some tissue paper. Tissue paper is nice too because I have a little bit of like, you know, ink spots on them. Because this will disappear. So put this on there like that. Just kind of, and that's just Sumi ink on the, you know, on the tissue paper been using. Just kind of put that down over that. It's nice because you can see the layers through it, so that's kind of cool. See if I can find some of the silk I'm talking about. So let's put something there. It's like building these little collages. It's a little gold paper. Put that there. Put that along the bottom. Just kind of construct as we go. Okay. Love it. So see, these are just like these little kind of abstract little collagey things. Let me see if I can find some of the silk here, but see, I'm not going to have the clear, but I can still use this just to show you all. Not the clear, but I have some, oh, this is good. Just like little thin silk pieces. I cut up old, let me find another piece here. I will cut up old blouses. You know, you have an old blouse, you're not using it anymore, but it's pretty fabric. It's better than going and buying silk. So let's see, let's go ahead and take a piece like this. Make a narrow one, it's nice. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. And then we can take and put this piece down. So I like just put a little glue right on. It's easier to glue the paper than it is the fabric. Okay. I kind of like to let it, you know, kind of hang off the top and the bottom. And cut it. And then we'll take a little side of something here. I want to stamp right on this, but got to add something. I like that, but is it going to give you, I want you guys to see how that really will. Oh. That's nice, but I want I want us to stamp right on that. So I need to find something smaller. Though I like all of those options. You know what? I'm just going to stamp right on it. That way you can kind of see. And then maybe once I stamp it, we'll do something different to it. Okay, so these can be stamped now. Alrighty, so let me get... let's use black soot, which I didn't take down. This one. Okay, sorry my arm is right in the camera, but no way around that one. Okay, so let's see. Let's change the stamp to a different one. Kind of want to use one. It's just going to be, it's going to be too big. I want to find a narrower one. Let's use this one. Get it right way up. Okay. And ink it up. So once you be able to see it, it's really cool to use fabric. What's a thin silk like that? Let's just drop it on there. So, you know, you can just use about anything that you can imagine that you have bits of. And the more texture that you can come up with on them, I think the better. Oh, yeah, see? Oh, look at her. She's so sweet. That print came out really good, too. Okay, let's get it to focus so you guys can appreciate it. I'm going to have to check the setting. Because for some reason, why isn't it focusing? Okay, there we are. See? So you have that little fabric sticking over the stamp, but it really stamped right through the fabric nicely. So, find any of the, oh, so pretty. Any of the silks and stuff that you may already have. And this one is going, because it's the black back there, so I think I'm going to use, maybe I'll use pumice. It's going to be light, and that's good. Should show up pretty good on that black. Okay, so now I'm going to use a different stamp also. So I will, you know, find as many of these stamps as I can and link them. So I've had these for a while, but I know they still do them. So this is faint, but when it dries, you can see a little bit of pumice there, and when it dries, it's going to pop up. And you really just get this really neat kind of stamp, but you get a lot of your image too, which we want some image. Okay, so this one right here is one of those kind of multi-stamps. And a lot of times I'll use them for the bigger things. So I like this pumice a lot. It's kind of hard to see it for you all to really appreciate it. But if you've ever used the pumice, it just dries so chalky, like French gray or something like that. It's such a pretty color. And it's subtle. So like, I feel like when I'm making my stamps, I don't want everything to be black, you know, like a dark black thing. I want like variations in them. So like this one, when it dries, you can see it's like a little bit laying over on the gold. And when it dries, it's really going to pop. These are just so good. So hopefully you guys can appreciate this. If not, pull out your pumice, and if you don't have any, grab it, because I understand that I think it's one of the colors that Tim Holtz is planning on discontinuing, and I can't believe it because it's one of my favorites. So okay. Oh, this is good. Just so subtle. I like with that blob right in there. I feel like you can see it. It's subtle though, but it gets darker, and it's like, trust me, you know, you want some of them with different colorations on them. So let me get the black soot again, because that one works well. Something about these distress colors, I like them, especially with this process, I like them a little better than just working with sort of flat colors. You just get a lot more gradation when they dry. I have no idea why my camera is doing this. It's weird. Oh, let's see. At least this way you can appreciate the stamp a little better. You can see it. Something about the movie mode right now is doing something strange. But anyway. Okay. Oh, you're probably thinking, when will her camera... Oh, there we go. Oh, gosh. It's like this sweet spot. See that? It's just so good. So, I love those. Let me see. Then I just want to make some, then I just do some plain ones, or just some, not so much plain, but I like to grab some with my scripting. So okay, so sort of like when I had this one, this is just good to put that down. That's just some that I had on onion skin where I did some scripting. So any scripting or mark making that you can just do on your papers is great just to add onto a coffee or tea stain background like this. And they really pop. And then you can stamp those different ways, you know. Get this piece here. See which. So just hopefully this just gives you guys some ideas for working with things that kind of create sort of a vintage ephemera. In this case we're working with stamps, but you can do, you know, anything that you want to work with. So I love these just as bits that you can stamp up, or I can just take and put my post stamp. I also have, like, these are good too. So this is like one of those, where's my, this is just one of those things that looks like a register seal or something on it. Black soot. So it doesn't have to be an actual stamp. It can be anything along these lines. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Just grab a part of the stamp. So see? So we just kind of created like some sort of seal or stamp. And just having that little bit of mark making underneath it is nice. It just adds to the complexity of it. I'll do this one. I think I'm going to lay this along the side. So kind of do it like that. You can also use like the calligraphy papers that we use for the other projects. Any of the tissue papers. Just think in terms of a lot of different surfaces. So see, so I ran that along the side next to the scripting. And that just gives you like a little old piece of something that looks like, you know, it came out of an old Asian book or whatever. Very easy. Let me see. It seemed like I had one other idea too, because we're, been at this almost 40 minutes. It doesn't seem like it. Like, it seems like it just goes so fast. What's up with that? Okay, well, maybe what I should do, though I did want to do one other. What was I thinking about doing with this piece? I kind of held this back because I was thinking about doing something. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I kind of did it here, where you can kind of do scripting and then using this. So I did sort of do it there. So let's finish these up by, I like to get my scissors. I normally try to find my smaller ones, but where they are right now, I do not know. So we'll just use these. So I like to rough up my edges. So, you know, once everything starts drying up, since I kind of had that torn edge, you know, I tore it with a ruler, but still it's a little smooth. You can just kind of start distressing these any way you want. So I just say go around the edges and just distress them some. Just kind of gives them a little bit more of an aged look, you know. So you can do that around all of them. And I did just think of something I wanted to show you all. Tape. That's what it was, tape. Let me grab my tape from back here. So we can grab some masking tape. You know, just some old world ideas. We're just kind of like emulating. So just grab some and put it down. So I'm just I just sort of randomly put some pieces on there. And I don't mind if it's got little wrinkles and stuff in it, because we kind of want to just create this old world look. And then we can grab this one again as it goes sailing off. That over there. And using the black soot, just kind of stamping over the masking tape. Kind of just will make like this old registered mark. So use your tapes. Just about anything you can think of. Probably would come up with some ideas I haven't thought of and share them with me. Ah, so I smushed it. But we're still going to use her. Well, yeah, like mail gets smushed, doesn't it? When you're, I'll let it move around. Let's do another one. How many times have you, you get some from the post office and it's kind of like that. Okay, yep, see? So you get this neat little, just rip them down the middle. And so that's just another kind of like little, it sort of looks like maybe it was torn off an envelope, that had the masking tape on it. So think about how mail comes, to you. And even like using like old envelopes, like the manila envelopes that come in the mail. I think I have one here. We get these. I'm just taking a bit of this type of paper. So if you have some of these, recycle all of this kind of stuff. And literally by using a piece of the envelope, you can lay it down. And make yourself a stamp. So just try to start thinking outside the box with these stamps. And there's so many things that can be done with them. But look at that. So it looks like something that, literally came in the mail. And this is great to just put in as a part of, our collage ephemera. So, of course, I could go on and on and on, but we're definitely coming up on an hour. So let's see what we created. This little smushed one, still sweet, because look, you could just, we get smushed things in the mail, so it kind of makes it a little bit more authentic, huh? So we made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, wow, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we got a nice little chunk done. So you see how quickly you can make them. And, you could just go on and on and on. So put a good movie on or a podcast or listen to your favorite music. At the end of the day to wind down, you want to do something in your studio. This is like a great project. And it has so many applications. Just as neat pieces to put in our journal. We can do some mail art this week in our journal pages, putting old photographs and things like that in. These are in our collages, our junk journals, just our art journals, whatever. You could just use these in so many ways. And so I'm excited to actually spend some time this evening making more of these, because I really need a lot more. So this was just a really good beginning. But the whole envelope, got this whole envelope. I actually like the color of this envelope. It's like a more, I don't know, a goldenrod kind of yellow or something. So grab those unusual envelopes and use those as well. Alrighty, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this session making our stamps. And yeah, work on our prompt this week of really, you know, going back into the past and just pulling up the joys and, you know, just connecting with it and just bringing some of those good times, those nostalgic moments, you know, back into your art. I know for me, I'm doing a lot of travel themed things because I just haven't been able to travel like I normally would have over this last year and a half. And so I'm just kind of reminiscing and just pulling a lot of that into my work. So, you know, however we go about it, it's fun, and we just, you know, look to have, you know, enjoyment. So until next week, this is week 34. Have fun, and I always love your comments, so please comment below what comes up for you. And until next week, take care. If you enjoyed this video, please thumb it up. And if you're new to the community, hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell for all, so that you can stay caught up with everything that we're doing. And I guess that's everything. I guess I'm just kind of delaying hanging out with you all. But love you all. Take care. And until next week, happy creating. Bye-bye.